Hello students, welcome back. So today's video we are going to see about chapter 2. Okay, so in the chapter 2 we are going to learn about the structure of the C++ program. Okay, so let's see in detail what is the structure of a C++ program: command line, variables, keywords, data types, constants, everything. Okay, so let's move on to the slide. Okay, so let me explain in detail. Okay, so moving on to the first slide, that is the command line. So command line, what is meant by command line? Command line is the line for our understanding, for the user understanding. Okay, so these command lines are not going to do anything inside the program. It is only for the user understanding. It is only for the user understanding. Okay, so these command line, it's not going to affect the program. Okay, command line, there are two types of command line are there, and there are single line command line and multiple line command line. Single line command line, you can just put single lines and you can write my program. Okay, and you can write your commands. Same way, multiple line command line slash star and write your commands. Okay, and end it with star slash. This is how we are going to do your multiple line command line. Okay, so these command lines are not going to affect the program. It is only for the user understanding, the programmer's understanding. Okay, it will not affect the executable part, only the understanding, user understanding. Okay, so there are two types: single line and multiple line. Single line, you use single lines command line. Multiple line slash star, and you can write multiple lines and end it with star slash. This is the command line. Okay, next we are going to see about the hash include IOStream. So in this, look at this, my first program, this is the structure of a C++ program. Okay, so my first program, this is the command line which we have, which I told you now. And next thing is hash include IOStream. This is the header file. Okay, this is the header file. Okay, so these header file, let me see what is header file. There are a lot of header files. Okay, look at this slide, I will just explain. Yeah, there are a lot of header files. Okay, so in this we have some header files. Yeah, 1 minute. Okay, so look at this. So header files here, some jackets are there. These jackets you can wear in winter. Cool clothes you can wear in summer. Raincoats you wear in rainy season. Okay, can I wear this jacket during the summer? No, because summer you cannot wear jackets. Okay, so season, based on the season you are wearing your clothes. Okay, now same way, there are many header files. You are going to use the header file, different header files, depending on the content of your program. Okay, so based on your program you are going to select the header files. Okay, but these IOStream is the default header file. Okay, IOStream stands for, I stands for input. Okay, O stands for output. Okay, so these IOStream means input and output plus output. Okay, so IOStream is the combination of iStream controls all the input operations, OStream controls all the output operations. Okay, so this is the header file which we are using. Okay, IOStream header file. Next, let's move on to the next. So based on the header files, you are going to select the header file. Based on the program, you are going to select the header file for your program. Okay, So now you know what is IO string. I handles all the input operation, O handles all the output operations. Okay. Next is the using namespace std. This is called the standard library. Okay. So why we are using this? This is the standard library. This library has all the variables, all the objects, all the classes, all the functions. Okay. Only when you use this namespace std, you can use all the objects and classes and functions in your program. Okay, so this is the standard library which holds everything. Okay, which holds everything. This is the standard library. Standard library which holds everything, and it can be used in the program. Okay, because it holds all the classes and objects and everything, variables, constant, everything. It holds everything. So only you have to include the using namespace std. Got it? Next thing is, so we know what is header file, and using namespace std, this is the standard library. Okay, standard library which holds all the classes and objects. Okay, next thing is, no, don't worry about this. Okay, every C++ program will start with hash include using namespace std int main. This is the basic structure. Okay, so all the programs will have this, so never mind about this. Okay, it will be default. It is most probably it is built in the program itself, so you don't want to worry about it. Okay, you should know what is it about. It is a header file. This is a standard library. And next comes the int main. Okay, this is the main function. This is the main open function of the C++ program. So look at this. Yeah, here we have, yes. So this is the actual start of the program. Here only the program starts. Okay, int main, open bracket, close bracket, and then you will open their curly bracket. Okay, so this is the main start of the C++ program, where the program gets started. Okay, so let's move on to this. So this is the actual start of the program, and then don't forget this bracket. This is the open bracket, and when you have an open bracket, you should have a close bracket. If you are not writing this, compiler will give you an error message stating that you have an error in the program. Okay, so this is the starting of the program, starting and ending of the C++ program. Okay, and can you see something called return 0? What do you mean by return 0? When you have int main, that will end with the return 0. Okay, when you have int main, it will end up with the return 0. Okay, so let's see the slide, and so that you will get an idea what we are talking about. This is the int main. Okay, this one I'll explain to you, and return 0. So what is it about? It is the end of the program. It will finish the program, return 0. Okay, now listen. So this is the structure of the C++ program. Inside we are going to write the program. Okay, so command line, header file, standard library, and actual start of the program. The start of the program, int main, brackets, and then return 0, and here you are going to write the program inside. Okay, so now let me explain some other terms are there, some data types, variables, constants, keywords. Okay, let me just explain what is it about. Okay, so now let's see what is, first thing is, what is keywords. Okay, so keywords means these are the keywords have some special meaning. Okay, these keywords will be present in the standard library. Already I told you the standard library will hold all the classes, objects, all the variables and everything. Okay, so this standard library will have some, see, these keywords will have some special meaning for the C++. So these keywords, you cannot use these keywords for any other purpose. Each keyword will have a special meaning. So example, you can say int, float, main, auto, return, case, switch, do, static, else. There are many keywords are given. Okay, so future when you study chapter 3 and 4, you will come to know clearly what are the keywords you will be using in the C++ program. Okay, so this is all about the keywords. Next comes the data type. This is one of the most important thing. Okay, listen carefully. Int. This int has actually in the basic data types in C++, we have int, float, double, character. Okay, so int. This int means what? Nothing. It is called the integer. It is the integer. Okay, integers. Yeah. Float. Float means it is the decimal numbers. Okay, can you see something? It is written 16-bit. Yeah, what is meant by that? Bit. That is the space, memory space. Okay, you know what is a bit? One bit, how the bit will be. This is one bit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8-bit. Okay, that is 8-bit means it is called one byte. Okay, so how the values will be stored? 1 0 0 1 0 0. It will be stored as the binary numbers. Okay, so now let's see what is integer. Int means integers. That means it is numbers. Integers is nothing but the numbers, whole numbers. Okay, and integer, it can store only how many bit? 8-bit? No, this is just 8-bit. I have just explained to you 16-bit. Okay, 16-bit. Okay, 16-bit. Yeah. So it is just numbers. Example, you can say number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, any numbers. Okay, but it can store up to 16-bit. Okay. Example, you can take a, I'll just show you right on example. So I told you int, that means integers or the numbers. Okay, it can hold up to 16-bit. Okay, now for example, you can take a bike, car, okay, bus and train. Okay, in a bike, how many person can travel in a bike? Only 2 persons. Okay, in a car, how many person can travel? Maximum 4 person, or if it is a big car, it can be 8. Okay, I'll take it as a small car, 4. Bus, how many person can travel? Depends on the bus capacity. Okay, I will just keep it as 70. Train, maybe 500. Okay, so in a bike, only 2 people can sit relaxed. You cannot just dump 3 or 4 or something else. Okay, in a car, only 4 people can sit. You cannot overload it into a car. In a bus, you can make only 70 people to sit relax. If it is a 70-seater bus. If it is a 70-seater bus, we cannot force 80 people to sit inside. Okay. Train, 500 seater means only 500 people can sit there. Same way, data types, int can store only 16-bit. You cannot force other bits inside. Okay. Float can store only 32-bit. Okay. Double can store 64-bit. And the character can store 8-bit. Okay. Int can store 16-bit, float 32, double 64, character 8-bit. Okay, this is all about the data type storage, like how the memory space. Okay, you cannot force more data inside the data type. Okay, now int means integers, float means what? It is decimal numbers. It is decimal numbers. You know what do you mean by decimal numbers? What is decimal numbers? It is like, for example, 10.75. It is a decimal number. Okay, 18.75. It is a decimal number. Okay, so these are the decimal numbers. Okay, here you have double. Double is also same as float. Okay, but it can hold how many bit? 64 bit. But float can hold only 32 bit. Okay, so float can hold only 32 bit, that is decimal numbers. Double also decimal numbers. It can hold decimal numbers. Okay, but largest decimal numbers. It can store up to 15 digit decimal numbers. Okay, 15 digits decimal numbers. Float can store up to 8 digit decimal numbers. Okay, so double is also decimal numbers, but it can store up to 64 bit. Largest decimal numbers 15. Character, anything enclosed with quotes. A, this is a character. And number enclosed with quotes, this is a character. Okay, anything enclosed with the quotes will come as character. Okay, but it can hold only 8 bit, not more than that. Got my point? So what are the data types? Int, float, double, character. Int can hold 16 bit, float can hold 32 bit, double 64, character 8 bit. Okay, int means integers, that is numbers. Float means decimal numbers, that means bigger smaller decimal numbers. It can hold up to 32. Double means it is decimal numbers but larger decimal numbers up to 15 digits. Okay, 64 bit. For example, you can say 100,075.85. Because it is 15 digit decimal numbers, it can hold. So it holds lot of values. Character, only single character or single number. It will be enclosed with the quotes. Okay, so this is all about integer, float, double, character. That is the data types. Now I can just give you one example. Listen. Now an example is, I have a value here, n is equal to 4. Okay, so for this n, which data type I can use? I can use int. Okay, I have here a is equal to 7.85. So which data type I can use here? Float. Okay, similarly I have a big decimal number, so in that case I can use it as double. Okay, character. For the character you can just use it. Okay, so this is how you are using your data types. Next comes the so we finished the data types. Rules, variables. So let us see what is variable and what are the rules. Okay, variable means these are the locations in memory for storing data. Actually, variable means, what is a variable? Now I have to add two numbers, number 1 as 20, number 2 as 10. Okay, so for the 20 I'm going to give away, what name I can give for this? I have to add these two numbers. Okay, so we are going to name it as A and we are going to name this 10 as B. Okay, so A plus B. Okay, so this A, we are naming some name, giving some name for the first number and giving some name for the second number. Okay, this is called variable. This is called variables. Okay, that means it varies from people to people. When I write the program, I can keep some name as A. When you write a program, you may keep the name as X, Y. Some other they can keep it as D, E. It depends. It varies. Okay. So variables are the names which you are giving for the values. Okay. Now let's see what are the rules. Some rules, some qanuns are there for to write the variable. Okay. How the variable should be? First thing is it can be alphabets, characters. Okay. Alphabets, numbers, and underscore. These are permitted. So that means example, you can name, how you can name, you can give the name as A, okay, alphabets, number, underscore, 2 or something. Okay, this is permitted. Okay, the first rule is alphabets, numbers, underscore is permitted. Okay, this is permitted. It is allowed. Okay, this is the first rule. Second rule, when it comes to second rule, what is given in the second rule? Numbers cannot be the variable. You mean the first starting, look at this. Variable name cannot start with digits or the numbers. Okay, so variable name cannot start with digits. That's nothing but it is numbers. So when you write a variable, how you will have to give the variable? So variables, I told you, you are going to give some names. Okay, so based on the data type, first how to declare the variable, variable declaration, how to declare the variable, you have to give the data type and variable name. Okay, so you may have a doubt. We studied what is data type: int, float, double, character. Okay, so now I have to add 20 and 10. In that case, for 20 we can keep it as, it is not a decimal number, it is just a number, so we can give us int. So data type is int. What will be the variable name? I'm going to give A, so you can keep it as A, int A. Okay, for the second number you can give it as int A comma B. Multiple variable declaration. Okay, yes. So now in this case, variable name cannot start with digits. That means variable name cannot start with number. Okay, it can be int A, B. It can be int A1, B1. It cannot, if you write int 1A, 2B, this is wrong. This is only correct. It cannot start with the number. It can start only with alphabet followed by number, underscore, characters or anything, that's okay, but not with number first and then the alphabets. Okay, so this is the second rule. Third rule is what's given here. Uppercase and lowercase characters are distinct. That means, what is the meaning? Uppercase and lowercase are distinct means it is different. It is not the same. It is different. Okay. So now they have, if I write like this, for this I'm going to write int A, and for the second number I'm going to name it as A. This is correct because this value is different A. This A has different value and this A has different value. Okay. So we think, okay, A and A are same, but compiler, this A have ASCII value different and this A have the ASCII value different. Okay. So uppercase and the lowercase are different. Or different. It is not the same or different. It is not the same. Okay, now if you write data and data, both are data, but this have different value, this have different value, because this is capital D, this is small d, so these are different. Okay, so when you name the variable, you have to be very careful. So maybe you are using the name as A, and you can use the same, you are writing as B, and you think, okay, I will write small b, then that is same, that is different, because this is not the b which we are telling b, but this variable have different value and this variable have different value. Okay, so uppercase and lowercase are always different, not the same thing. Understand? Not the same thing. Keywords, C++ keywords cannot be the variable name. So what is meant by that keywords? Already I told you, C++ keywords, they have special meanings. Okay, so these keywords cannot be your variable name. Okay, you cannot use the C++ keywords as your variable name. Okay, keywords like int, float, static, variables, many keywords are there. So those keywords cannot be your variable name. So we have 4 rules. First thing is alphabet, characters, underscore is permitted. Okay, alphabetic characters like A, B, C, digits like numbers A, 1, 2, 3, and underscore, these are permitted. Variable name cannot start with digit. Okay, it cannot be 1, 2, 3, or it cannot start with a number. It can start with alphabet and then followed by numbers. Uppercase and lowercase are different. It is not the same. Keywords cannot be the variable name. C++ keywords cannot be the variable name. Okay, so this is all about variables. Next comes the constant. These constants are the fixed value. Okay, now for example, in a program you're writing int a is equal to 5. That means what happens? This value a throughout the program, the value a will be 5. Okay, you are giving float const pi is equal to 3.14. That means what is the meaning? Constant means it is the fixed value. Variable means it gets changed. I told you. So when you write a program, you write a comma b. Okay, int a comma b. That case, this a can be any value, like 10, it can be 20, it can be 5, 1, 2, 3, any value. But if you mention it as a constant, int const a is equal to 5, that means the value of a will be 5 throughout the program. So constants are like the fixed value. The value is fixed for that. Then the value is given to that. You cannot change it. Okay, so that is called the constant. When we write the program, we will know what is constant. Okay, so that is all about the chapter 2, like what is variable, what is structure of a C++ program, what is variable, and what is data types, constant, keywords. Okay, so we'll discuss some more examples in the class, some exercises in the class. Okay, if you have anything, you can ask me during the class time. Thank you.